Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie, and I just recorded the previous video without sound. So I am starting this video again. So this is going to be about books that I wanted to read for fall. Obviously, it's not fall yet, but I'm in fall mode. I'm in soup mode, as they say, which honestly, I'm not a big fan of soup. Anyway, enough about soup. Let's talk about books. So some of these books, I think could obviously be read outside of fall, but these ones are just giving me fall vibes, and I want to give them a try. There's more that aren't here that I would also like to read, but I was trying to put a limit on it and ones that I'm more likely to get to because I'm trying to be a lot more intentional with my reading. And so I'm going to take some more time with reading because I want to be able to review them on YouTube. And to do that, I really feel like I want to go into more detail than just my Instagram, where I kind of do just like a quick little review. I still read the whole book, but I feel like being able to summarize the book a little better, stuff like that would be good for YouTube. So I wanted to slow down and also for myself. I feel like I am just like go, go, go with books and I'm not really like fully thinking about them. Sometimes I'll read a book and I'm like, oh yeah, that was great. That's 5 stars. Yes, yes, yes. And then someone asks me about it and I'm like, it was just really good. Just trust me. You should read it. So I just want to be a little bit better about that. So, with these books, I've got them in three kind of categories. I've got some like romance and lighter ones. If they're romance, I'm hoping they're more rom com because that's more my style. I just realized I was slouching like a shrimp. And then I'm looking at the piles while I'm talking. I have thrillers, horror, that sort of thing. And then I have collections or anthologies over here where you can't see, but they're there. Let's talk first about the lighter stuff, the rom-coms and the cozy mysteries. So the first one is Hopelessly Devoted. This book comes out the 16th of September and it was printed by Atria, who gifted me this book. So thank you. This book is about a man. They're like post college or around like late college age from the way that I was reading the back. He was a failed screenwriter and he's kind of got some bad luck with some things. The girl, she's the bubbly girl next door. She's disowned by her parents for quitting business school and buying Hopelessly Devoted, the tea shop, which happens to be the guy's parents' shop who had passed. And they have to work together to combine their powers to save the town, Hollow Cross, because there are spirits and sounds like the devil. So they're trying to save the town and also trying to prevent her magic from going through a curse that's happening. That sounds like it could hurt the male character. So that is that one. I honestly, at first, I didn't even read the back, but I was like, yeah, this is fall, cozy, tea, cats, powers, so witchy vibes. So this is one that I have, and I've had it for a little while. So I would love to get to it in fall. It would be nice if I could get it before the 16th, but I do have books that I'm scheduled to review at certain times coming up. So we'll see if I can do that. The next book is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This is a book that I picked up from my local, one of our thrift stores in town. And this is just like a cozy YA. I'm going to assume rom com. Like, I'm just not into regular romance. I'm not into just romance. Like, I want there to be like a little more. I don't know how to explain it. So, rom coms tend to do that for me. So, this is about a girl who hates pumpkin spice lattes. She lives in New England where everyone loves autumn, and she's also a barista at her mom's little local coffee shop, Cup of Joe. But then Java Junction comes and they're like Starbs, they're like Scoots, they're like Dunkin'. Um, they're a multinational coffee chain. I didn't really have to name all the other ones. I don't know why I didn't just say that. It turns out that the new kid in school, who is also her crush, is actually the son of the people that owned that. and that place is literally across the street from her mom's coffee shop. So, they're competition to each other. And Lucy will have to set aside her feelings for the popular drink and Jack to make this the coziest pumpkin spiciest season ever. So that's that one. Other one is Mouse of Ill Repute. This was mentioned in my first video that I ever posted about paying for a mystery book box. This came in it, and I'm still not fully sure how I feel about it, but there's a pumpkin and stuff on the front. It looks like it's a cozy mystery. Amateur Sleuth, big fan of. Makes me interested, but it talks a little bit extra about this mouse that's in it, and so I'm thinking the mouse might talk, and I just can't get behind talking animals. I don't know what it is in books. It just kicks me out of it. So we'll see. If there's talking animals, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try, but I can't promise that I'm gonna keep reading it. We'll see. But now would be the time to read it because it has to do with a haunted house and there's skeletons in the closet, but some are real. So you have to find out who did it. And again, like I said, I love an amateur sleuth story, so I'm going to give it a shot. So we'll go over to the thrillers, horror, that section. There is one that I don't have a hard copy of yet. I have it on NetGalley for now, and I'm part of the street team. It's for The Mean Ones. Was signed up to be part of the street team and got chosen, which is awesome because I loved Such Lovely Skin by her. It was so good. That was probably one of my favorite books from last year, honestly, and it was kind of my first little delve into horror books. The Mean Ones, when Tatiana had put out that she was going to be putting out this book, her the Such Lovely Skin was YA. She said this one was not YA. It involved cults, and I immediately was like, I don't care about the rest of it. There's cults. Let me read it. I want to read it. Please let me read it. And it sounds super good. She posts a lot, which I love that about her, because it makes me more and more excited about this book. But Midsummer, I think, was one of the influences of the book, and a few other things, but that's one of them. And I loved that movie. And I am, if I'm watching a scary movie or like a horror movie, I want it to be psychological, which doesn't make sense with me having some issues. Anyway, this book, she said there were cults, and I just wanted to read it. So that's one that I plan to read. And I'm sorry that I don't have a better description of it, but please look into it because I think it's going to be great. Now, for the physical books I've got Exorcism by Ethnatas, which, if you switch things around, that name spells Satan, and uh, there's like a thing going around that people think maybe it's Stephen King, and it's can't remember what it's called when they have a different name. My brain says stage name, and I know that's not right because that's not a writing term. But basically that. Anyway, this is about spirit possession, and there's witchcraft, and uh, I actually found it by reading Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix, and the description of it, I was like, that sounds interesting. And oh my gosh, this book I could not find anywhere. I ended up paying like $35 for this mass market paperback of it through, I think I ended up being able to find it through Amazon used. That's why it's in this packaging, probably to keep it well. And I did start reading it last year, but I was getting a tattoo when I started reading it, and I just could not focus. It was a kneecap tattoo, and I hadn't seen my artist for a while, and I wanted to talk to him. I'm going to start from the beginning of it again, and I think that's definitely one I want to get to. Obviously, a lot of books you can read them all year round, but that definitely gives fall, Halloween vibes. The next book that is on my table is We Used to Live Here. I've read so many like reviews and stuff about this, and it's like people either love it or they hate it. And so I'm hoping that I love it. It sounds like it's up my alley, and it also has some formatting that is interesting. It's not just traditional formatting. It looks like there's bits of documents and stuff in it. This book is about a young queer couple who flips houses, and they get a great deal on this old property in a really good picturesque neighborhood. And then this guy comes with his family and is like, I used to live here. I want to show my I think it's daughters or daughter uh kids. I want to show them what's up with this house because I used to live here. And one of the girls is a people pleaser and the other girl's gone. And she's like, yeah, of course, come in. And not a good choice. But if she didn't make that choice, then we wouldn't have this book because this is a fiction book, Allie. Back off. I'm sorry, Marcus, the writer. Um, So, when the strangers enter the home, the youngest child goes missing. A ghostly presence materializes. The family can't seem to take the hint that the visit should be over. And then Eve's partner vanishes and she kind of loses her grip on reality. So, all that, I love like psychological stuff and sometimes paranormal stuff. So, that sounded really good to me, which also kind of ties into 80s ghosts, which is paranormal stuff. This girl is determined to make her ghost hunting vlog an internet success. She's really close to financial ruin, and so she ends up actually getting an offer to investigate a high school, and she explores it with other people. She notices that the team's acting a little off. Everything begins to unravel, blurring the lines between past and present. And she realizes that some secrets want to be found. So, and some of them have even been waiting. So, that sounded cheesy, sorry. But I am actually really excited for this book. I originally found it on NetGalley, the audiobook for it, but I couldn't get into the narrator unfortunately, but I was still super interested in the story, so I ended up just buying a copy and that means it's out now. I was going to tell you this the date, but I don't need to. And we used to live here. I forgot to say was from the publisher, so I want to thank Emily Bessler Books with this which is Atria, which is one of my favorite publishers, I would say. Got a few now. The next book, trying to see if it like ties in like I kind of did the other two, but it kind of it's a it's called Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. Somehow I've never read Paul Tremblay. Though I do have one of his books on NetGalley to read called Another, which I think is like a middle grade or YA book. This is just a, a it's just a book. Um, it's a chilling twist on the cursed film genre, which obviously, as you could see from the other things I said, I think it makes sense that it's interesting to me. And it's kind of cool. I'm not usually a sprayed edges person, but it's got sprayed edges and it's like a film reel. And then there's a couple that actually have like a silhouette of a person in it. So that's kind of interesting too. There was a young guerrilla filmmakers spending 4 weeks making horror movie, a notorious disturbing art house horror flick. Only 3 of the film scenes were ever released to the public, but it grew a rabid fan base, and 3 decades later, Hollywood wants to push for a big budget reboot. The man who played the Thin Kid is the only surviving cast member, and he remembers all too well the secrets buried within the original screenplay and the weird events and dangerous cross lines that occurred. He's going to help remake the film, but Demons of the Past be damned. He's going to help remake the film, even if it means navigating a world of cynical producers, egomaniacal directors, and surreal fan conventions. But it says, but at what cost? So it says it's an obsessive, psychologically chilling, and suspenseful feat of storytelling genius that builds inexorably to an unforgettable, mind bending conclusion. So that sounds really good to me. That's probably one I'll try to get to for sure. Interests me. I mean, they all interest me, but something about it definitely I'm like, "Ew, the vibes feel right." And it looks like there's different formatting, which, like I said, I'm a fan of. Looks like there's some of the script in there. So that's cool. And then another super weird formatting one is House of Leaves. Chunker. It's not like, well, it is chunky, but also it's wide, like, and it's actually heavy. The pages are heavy. This has so much different formatting in it. There's like stuff that's crossed out in it. There's like I don't even know how to explain it. There's letters, looks like some script. I think I just went by a crossword. Um, some stuff's upside down. Think I saw someone say that you have to read part of it in a mirror so you can read it. So sounds pretty wild to me. And honestly, I don't even fully know what the story's about. I just heard people say it's wild. It says it focuses on a young family that moves into a small home on Ash Tree Lane where they discover something terribly wrong. Their house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And that alone, I'm like, ooh, what's that mean? That one, I think, yes, fall vibes. I think it's more so because the cover and that the word leaves are on it. So I think that's one that if I don't get to it now, I think I can kind of read it whenever. And that would go the same for this anthology I have here, or collection of ghostly tales for long winter nights. It's called The Haunting Season. And yes, it says for long winter nights, but it's ghost stories. So I'm like, should be fine. And I believe there's like 8 in there, 8 stories in here. And then I have another ghost stories book, which is Roald Dolls, which I don't think I said that right. I feel like there's been more than one video where people said it different. People are like, everyone says it is Roald Dahl, but it's actually this Roald Doll, maybe. Anywho, when I first bought this, I thought that like he wrote all the ghost stories, but he did not, and that's fine. There's an introduction from him, and then it was like 13 or 14 stories, ghost stories in here, and I thought that that sounded great. I can't remember if my sister-in-law or she recommended it to me, or if she saw that I bought it and then she wanted to read it or borrow it. We have quite the overlap of books we read. Like anytime she says one is 4 or 5 stars, unless she gives me a trigger warning, which she'll do with some. Like there was one that had to do with parenting, and I was a new mom going through postpartum stuff. So she's like, I wouldn't read that if I were you. She also knows me really well. Um, but we have quite the overlap. So a lot of times I'm like, did I buy it and talk to her about it? Did she recommend it to me? Did we just both talk about the book? Sometimes I don't remember. So I think it would actually be kind of cool to do a video, like a reading vlog, but have her pick out the books because maybe she can look through what I have and be like, yes, do this, this, and this. You don't need to know all that. So that is, those are 2 other ones. And like the one said, it could be winter tales. And so I could see reading both of them, even if it's not for spooky season, I could read it in the winter time. Technically, I could read it whenever, but there's something about having the right vibes for stuff like that. It just feels good. I've got 2 more books. So this one is Never Whistle at Night. It is an anthology of indigenous dark fiction, and it says it's original and shiver-inducing tales that introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge. This one has interested me for a while. The first time I saw it, it was just I saw the art, which I thought was so cool, and then I was like, "Ooh, Never Whistle at Night." That was interesting to me, and then finding that it's an indigenous dark fiction anthology, I'm like, "Yeah, there's gonna be some really interesting stories in there." So, that's another one that I think could maybe be read all year round, but I figured might be extra, spooky to read it, in my fall mode that I'm in. And then my last book is America's Most Gothic Haunted History, Stranger Than Fiction. I actually just got it in the mail today. Had it on NetGalley and I read some of it. I haven't been able to finish and review it, um, but I did like it. And so when I got notification that it was going to be published, the publisher reached out, Citadel Press, and asked if I wanted a copy. And I'm like, yeah. And I also asked if they'd mind if I got a second copy for my little free library, and they were down for that too. So I'm excited to put that in my little free library. I want to do like a little spooky drop in there and kind of clean out any old books. So I might try to do that either after Labor Day or maybe um, wait a little longer than that and kind of do, like I said, a little spooky drop. Not all of them because not everyone's into that. This isn't necessarily an anthology, but it does talk about different parts of America's haunted history, and I'm into that. I don't want to live in a haunted house. I do not, but I'm interested in stories about them. And I'm especially or even haunted history like this. It's just interesting. It's just so interesting. So, like I said, those are the books I was interested in. There are more that I'm also interested in, but these I might get to a little sooner than those. And again, I'm trying to be more intentional with my reading, so I probably won't fly through these like I normally do. Um, I really want to slow down the rest of this year and next year and just like really focus on books and maybe slow down on NetGalley too, because I do have a little bit of a backlog on there, like an embarrassing amount to be honest. And I don't think that's fair to the author, the publisher, or NetGalley because obviously a lot of them want feedback before it's published, and there's some that are already published that I have not gotten to. And so I'm going to try to just be a little pickier on that front. And then I am trying to be a little more picky with physical books too. With the publisher programs I'm part of, trying to be a little more picky on what I think I'd want a copy of when I'm going shopping, at the bookstore. Just trying to make sure, okay, does this really, really sound good? Because I do need to declutter all the books I have. I will say a lot of I have read, but I'm not a rereader, but I don't want to get rid of them if I really enjoyed them because I just want to look and be like, oh yeah, that book was really good. But I am in the mode of if I read a book and I'm not into it, I'm trying to be better about if I don't like it, I can just stop reading it because I have so many books I want to read. But if I'm not digging a book and I don't think I'm going to, like it's just not for me, it's not just not for me at this time situation, then I'll do the little free library or take it to Half Price Books or donate it to our local library for like the Friends of the Library sales because I just I have a lot of books. I don't think it's wasteful because I'm planning to get to them, but to get to all of them, I don't know how long that would take me. So I'm just trying to slow down. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to reading for fall if you're doing something like that, what your favorite like fall vibes book has been, or tell me what you think of the books that I'm choosing. Are there ones that you're like, man, I didn't really like that, or like, heck yeah, you need to get to that ASAP? Let me know, and I will be back soon with another video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.